She went from breaking records to breaking promises. And for the first time, fans started questioning whether anything she said was actually hers. This is the story of how Isabella Avila, better known as OnlyJayus, went from being TikTok's psychology queen to one of the internet's most despised content thieves.
Mad at me for now? Not checking my emails in a timely manner! Can you please leave me the f*** alone?
That desperation marked the end of what was once an unstoppable rise, but it was just the final chapter of a much darker story. Before the scandals and hatred, OnlyJayus was exactly what TikTok needed. Isabella Avila had cracked the code that so many creators desperately sought. Her ascent felt almost supernatural, going from 100,000 followers to over 1 million in just 30 days. Her quick-paced psychology facts and life hacks seemed to strike a nerve with audiences hungry for bite-sized knowledge.
Psychology tricks to make somebody nervous or give them butterflies when you're in a conversation with them. Say their name, okay? You know when you're in a conversation with somebody who's new and cute and they say your name and you're just like...
Her insights were packaged perfectly for TikTok's algorithm. Short, engaging, and incredibly shareable. She turned that success into a YouTube with longer-form content exploring topics like hypnosis, alien theories, and the meaning of life. Everything seemed to be working perfectly. But success has a way of revealing who someone really is. And what came out wasn't what anyone expected. In July 2020, OnlyJayus made a misstep that would prove to be a costly one. She publicly accused fellow creator Jonathan Moss of stealing her content on birth month meetings.
Did you know that your birth month actually has a huge effect on who you are as a person and the things that could possibly happen to you?
Yo, did you know that your birth month actually has a huge effect on you and the things that can happen to you in your life?
But the accusation backfired in a big way when Moss quickly proved he'd merely referenced the same source article she had.
I do not own information. I think it's okay for other creators to do fact videos. It literally does not bother me. I just think it's really weird when other big creators think it's okay to copy my video word for word and act like you didn't.
That moment of hypocrisy didn't go unnoticed. If OnlyJayus was going to call someone out for plagiarism, viewers began looking deeper into OnlyJayus's content. What they found changed everything. Many of her so-called original psychology facts were copied verbatim from easily searchable sources. The evidence was overwhelming. Her "How to Fake Your Own Death" video had been copied line by line.
Step 1 is immediately start paying off all your debt.
And you're also going to want to pay off all of your debt.
This ensures that no debt collectors will come looking after you and no one will report you to the police for unpaid debts.
Debt collectors come looking for you or calling the police to try and get their money back.
Word for word, bar for bar is insane. The internet had found its new content thief, with viewers calling her SS Sniper Wolf version 2. But the plagiarism scandal was just the beginning. As her content came under scrutiny, something far more damaging emerged from her past. In February 2021, screenshots from private messages sent in 2016 began circulating online. They revealed a side of Isabella that her millions of followers had never seen. The language was shocking. She called someone a dumb C-word, wished cancer on their parents, and even said she hoped everyone they loved would die. But the most disturbing part was her use of racial slurs, not just the N-word, but a deliberate attack on someone for being in an interracial relationship.
Here's the thing, she didn't word. It's not like she was mouthing it and said the words in a song. There are levels to it. There's the white influencer dancing and then mouthing the words with an A at the end. There's calling someone the N-word. There's calling someone the N-word with a hard R at the end. And then there's calling someone a lover. A slur is a slur, but to insult someone for being in a relationship with a black person by calling them a lover, it does not get any worse than that.
The backlash was immediate. You're a f***ing racist. I remember loving her content back in 2020, but the second she got exposed, I couldn't shake the disgusted feeling I had when I saw her face. She's ridiculous and needs to grow up. On February 13th, 2021, OnlyJayus issued a public apology, but to many black creators, it felt insincere, more like damage control than real accountability.
In my past, I said disgusting things to people, and I am so ashamed of myself for using racist rhetoric and derogatory language to hurt others, because I knew what that word meant, and I am so sorry to everyone, but especially to those in the black community, because only you guys can forgive me for this.
But even this wasn't genuine. The video was ghostwritten by another creator, Xander, who later revealed that OnlyJayus hadn't written a single word of her own apology. And after using Xander's words to help salvage her reputation, she cut off contact with him entirely.
They had someone ghostwrite their apology so that they didn't lose their brand deals.
The person that helped you write the apology is
Me, hi. I've already talked about it once before on my channel, but immediately after they confirmed it was true with me over text message, I then tried to help them to the best of my ability while still being extremely angry and frustrated. Helped with a good bit of the apology, especially the part about black creatives. When we were both talking about that part in the apology, I really did think that they would hold up their end of the bargain, you know?
Ghostwriting an apology was something I never thought I would hear ever in my life. The promises made in that ghostwritten apology proved to be as fake as everything else. Black creators who had agreed to collaborate, like Aunt Karen, found themselves ghosted after months of waiting.
Now, you become a mutual of mine after your whole N-word debacle. Said you want to collaborate with me. We email, and suddenly you've dropped off the face of the earth. So, are black people just tokens for you to use when you're ready to play?
When confronted about abandoning these promised collaborations, OnlyJayus' response revealed everything about her character. Instead of accountability, she offered deflection.
What are people mad at me for now? Not checking my emails in a timely manner. I wish I was joking. Forgot to respond to an email from this creator that wanted to collab with me, and instead of just hitting me up again, they made 7 f***ing videos about it! Can you please leave me the f*** alone? I have a diagnosed neurological disorder that makes me forget things. I forget to eat for days. I barely text my family back, and I just had to move apartments because my address got leaked, and you're gonna throw a fit because I didn't make you my priority?
She blamed ADHD for her failure to follow through on commitments to the very people she had harmed with her racism. Rather than taking full accountability, she framed herself as the victim. She sort of had a chance to redeem herself before she blamed it on her ADHD. Only Stialis learned to take proper accountability for your shitty actions. But one creator refused to let her tactics work. Every day, Alex had caught OnlyJayus stealing his content about workplace strategy, copying his advice word for word without credit.
when you get a new job, do just enough to not get fired.
Put in the bare minimum, just enough not to get fired.
And then after about 6 months or when a new position opens up, make a sudden, drastic change.
In like 6 months or whenever a new position opens up, you're gonna kick it into high gear.
When Alex called her out publicly, OnlyJayus fell back on her usual excuse. She claimed both creators had gotten the idea from the same Reddit post. Alex wasn't buying it and challenged her to prove it.
OnlyJayus stole one of my TikTok videos. I have the proof on my page. I called her out. She denied it and said this, that we both got the idea from the same Reddit post. I am offering $10,000 to charity right now if she can send me the Reddit post.
OnlyJayus panicked. She scrambled to find evidence that would support her claim, eventually producing a screenshot of what she insisted was the original Reddit comment that had inspired both videos. But Alex wasn't fooled, and neither was anyone else paying attention.
Instead of just saying, yeah, I f***ed up, I didn't credit you, I'm sorry, she would go and fake a f***ing screenshot of a Reddit.
She posted her own comment on Reddit, deleted it, then altered the screenshot date to create false evidence. Even when caught in clear plagiarism, her instinct was to respond with further deception. By 2024, OnlyJayus had gone from one of TikTok's fastest rising stars to one of its most widely criticized creators. A petition demanding her removal from the platform gathered over 400,000 signatures. Major brand partnerships, including deals with Netflix and Tinder, were terminated. Despite having millions of followers, her content now struggled to reach even 100,000 views. But even then, the controversies didn't stop. In September 2024, Isabella's ex-girlfriend Brittany Lee DeJardo filed a restraining order against her, citing harassment and verbal abuse. According to Brittany, Bella showed up at her home late at night, despite being explicitly told not to. The uninvited visit, combined with the knowledge that Isabella had access to a firearm, the situation felt increasingly volatile. Brittany no longer felt secure in her own home, leading her to seek a restraining order as a protective measure. Although the order was later dropped, but it added another layer to her increasingly toxic reputation. As of 2025, her career was in free fall. She tried going back to YouTube, hoping long-form videos might bring people back. But even with 4.8 million subscribers, most uploads didn't break 4,000 views. That means 99% of her audience didn't even bother clicking. She even tried political content next by showing up at LA protests, hoping it would get people talking. But it didn't. In a final act of desperation, OnlyJayus turned to explicit content on platforms like Passes, charging as much as $80 for access. It was the last resort of a fading creator, following the same path as countless others who had exhausted their options. Her decline was not the result of canceled culture or reactionary backlash. She lost it through a consistent pattern of theft, racism, and dishonesty that eventually caught up with her, and perhaps that's exactly what she deserved.